Happy New Year, Eddie.
Happy New Year, mate.
I haven't seen you, obviously. I don't know when you stopped saying that. I feel like I only say it every time I see something. Yeah? Can I still get away with it? Do we end?
Yeah. That's
yeah. Happy New Year. Before we talk about the main man coming back, the rebuild, as it's been sort of build as well, let's talk about the announcement of the 8 fight cards that you put out a couple of days ago. Exciting?
Really exciting. I mean, it's been a long time coming because, we wanted to base it around the return of Anthony Joshua. Obviously, you got Canelo Alvarez brewing as well.
There's a couple of names off there that I didn't see.
There's at least 2 more shows to be added to that slate as well. So really excited, of course, here to talk about Anthony Joshua's return, but particularly Wood Lara next week. I think it's an unbelievable fight. I can't wait for that. Maurizio Lara, I think he's about to be en route to Nottingham. Taylor Serrano, of course, in Ireland, going to be incredible. Rakimov against Cordina, we love. Bam Rodriguez in a really big card in San Antonio, a next-gen card thrown in there as well. Loads more coming. Big card in Liverpool with Callum Smith and a really good schedule unfolding. Yeah,
will Dimitri Bivol potentially be in that slate of ones to be announced?
End of May or early June for Dimitri Bivol. I mean, he's in a really interesting situation where Canelo Alvarez desperate to try and get his chance at revenge. Obviously, there's the Beterbiev undisputed fight.
Yeah.
There's the Joshua Buatsi potential voluntary defence as well while he's waiting to see what happens. So we're in talks with Dimitri and his team at the moment about his next fight.
Yeah, good options for Dimitri Bivol regardless of where it is. Undisputed at 168 or do you want undisputed at 175? It's not bad. Maybe both, indeed. Let's talk about the big man being back. Anthony Joshua takes on Jermaine Franklin April 1st, not on pay-per-view, which I think surprised a lot of people. I think initially everyone thought AJ's a pay-per-view fighter. Regardless of who he fights, he's going to be on pay-per-view. How's that decision come about?
I think obviously with it was always the goal when we moved to DAZN to provide big nights off pay-per-view as part of your subscription. There's been a lot of chat this week about the subscription price and stuff like that. It's pretty simple. DAZN wanted to really reward loyal customers with removing those big pay-per-view fights from pay-per-view.
Yeah.
There actually isn't really a price change for those loyal customers who are with us month in, month out. If you want to jump in every now and again, it will become more expensive, like a potential pay-per-view. And if you look at April, for example, where you would potentially choose to do that, you've got Anthony Joshua on April the 1st. The next week, you've got Bam Rodriguez and a huge card in San Antonio. You've got a big Sheffield show that will be in there as well. You've got Rakimov against Cordina as well. So you've got plenty of value.
It's not a bad month.
Ultimately, DAZN have been providing tremendous value for fight fans, and we see that loyal customer base, which is a significant part of that, with us every month.
Yeah.
And this new pay format allows you to be part of big pay-per-view nights like Taylor Serrano, like AJ against Franklin, without paying your $24.95 for one-off nights, and I think the new structure is fantastic for fight fans.
Yeah, a lot of fight fans are going to be happy to hear that. Obviously, going forward, less pay-per-views for them, big fights. That's what they want, right? And it looks like we're giving them that as well. Jermaine Franklin, there were a number of different fighters rumored. Otto Volume was rumored. Dillian White potentially as well. Hergovich, Dempsey McKean. How do you come about Jermaine Franklin? Who decides that ultimately?
Really, the trainer. AJ a little bit, us will have our input, and we looked at a number of southpaw fighters, particularly Otto Wallin and Dempsey McKean. Looking at the future, we don't see many southpaw challengers. He's just boxed Alexander Usyk twice.
The best southpaw there is.
Yeah. So, but we just felt like we'd take on an orthodox fighter. Dillian White is a fight that we look at potentially for a stadium in the summer, and we thought Jermaine Franklin did really well in that fight. It was a very close fight, and he's a very good fighter. And you see sort of mixed opinions, really, and it's bizarre. There's so much contradictions. I mean, normally I'm the king of contradictions, but
not bad.
Twitter's rife. It's like, this is an easy comeback fight for AJ. AJ's finished. AJ's mentally shot. Jermaine Franklin's not very good. Same people that said he beat Dillian White last time around. I mean, this is a very, very dangerous fight, and you've only got to look at. I saw the boxing show, the DAZN Boxing Show with Atkin Barak, and I saw Jermaine Franklin. Already looks like a different guy.
Yeah.
I mean, looks a lot fitter.
Looks
he's
a lot slimmer
leaner,
in the face, isn't he?
Just looks a lot more confident. And he's coming into this fight. He thinks he won that fight against Dillian White. Now he's coming into the AJ fight. I mean, it was a pot of gold for him if he beat Dillian White, but the pot of gold has just quadrupled in size if he beats Anthony Joshua. Yeah. And these guys are coming in fired up to fight AJ, and there's a lot of pressure on AJ. He'll bounce that off today. I'm sure he'll say, it's I'm just going to go and do my thing. But everybody knows he needs to win this fight.
Yeah.
And he needs to look good doing it. And I can't wait. Back at the O2. I mean, it's 10 years this year since the professional debut at the O2. It's going to be on fire, that arena, come April the 1st, and we can't wait.
Yes, I think 6.5 years since AJ fought there as well. I think his last fight there was Dominant Brazil.
Correct.
When you think he's gone around the world, stadiums have now become the norm for AJ. It's almost like the O2, though, is where it all really started with that Charles Martin win. And then you think of other wins as well. Gary Cornish, Dillian White has been there as well. So it's good to see him back home, I think some people call it. You mentioned Derek James there, obviously new trainer. This will be AJ's third trainer in 3 fights. Is there concern there? You know, you had one sort of style against Rob McCracken, you had one style of Robert Garcia, maybe picking up a new style with Derek James. Is there a bit of concern there?
I don't think it's really styles, I think it's just refining what he does. And, I'm sure you'll speak to Derek James today, but I think it's more about simplifying things and getting him to believe in himself. AJ is a very bright man in the respect of you can't double bluff him. You can't just tell him, just go out there and rip this.
He's not listening to
how.
that.
No, but it's like, I will, but how am I best doing that? And, he needs a game plan. He needs technically to believe in himself. And I think that's what Derek James will do. I think he'll break down the fundamentals and all the things that AJ's very good at. Yeah. And he's a very good boxer. Very good boxer. He's very aggressive when he wants to be. He's got tremendous punch power. He's got great speed, blistering speed. And, he needs to just go, not even go back to that style, but just believe in himself. And I think that's the key with the training team now more than anything. I think the move to Texas will be fantastic for him. I think, I can imagine him in the mall, in the cinema, going for a coffee, all the things that he just can't do here up in Loughborough. And I think he'll be enjoying himself. I think he'll be feeling like he's got a lot more energy, because I know, I've been part of many Anthony Joshua training camps, the media obligations, the people waiting outside the gym for photos and autographs that he would give hours to every night. This is just about him now. This is about actually taking care of Anthony Joshua. He's given so much to British boxing. None of us would be here without Anthony Joshua. So the levels and the heights we are now. And now it's just time to look after himself. Be a little bit selfish in this back end of his career. And, it's so important, because this is the last roll of the dice, really. This is the last big phase of his career now, whether it's 5, 6, 7, I've no idea, fights. But this is so important, because you're coming off the back of 2 defeats. And still you get criticised for a very good opponent. You're coming off the back of 2 defeats. And the last defeat, you saw mentally, it was very tough for him. So there are a lot of people doubting him, as there have been for many, many years. And, he's a competitive guy, and he'll be wanting to prove him wrong. Yeah,
as I say, we don't know how many fights AJ's going to have left in his career. One thing you did say at the start of the year, though, that he will probably have 3 fights this year. So this one in the summer, and then one ending the year. Is that still the plan? I guess that can change depending upon what happens. But is that the plan? We always have plans to be active. And, in the past, either through tough fights or injuries or a lot of media obligation or sponsorship obligations, it ends up being 2. We've got a chance here to go April, go July, go December. And that's very much the plan, is keep him nice and active this year. Anything can happen. These are 2 guys, 17, 18 stone, breaking hands, damaging jaws and cheekbones, and anything can happen. But all being well on April the 1st, he'll be looking to have a big fight in the summer and then go again in December. But, I feel like he struggled with activity over the last couple of years, and now's the time to keep him nice and busy. What would be your ideal plan for him in terms of opponents? So Franklin, and this is not looking past Jermaine Franklin at all, but would it be Franklin, Dillian White, and then a Fury, Joe Joyce, Wilder type for that final fight in the winter? Yeah, I think, people talk about the Dillian White fight in the summer. That's a good fight for him. Deontay Wilder is a fight that he definitely wants, and that's not going to be around forever. That is one of the biggest fights in boxing. And there's Tyson Fury. What is he going to do? Is he going to fight Usyk? I mean, he's gone very quiet. I mean, they've been negotiating now for over a month. It was only probably 2 days into the negotiations that he started screaming and shouting and calling deadlines on Anthony Joshua. I don't see any deadlines now, but that's another story. So you don't know what's going to happen with Tyson Fury. But AJ wants big fights. There's no doubt about it. He's not looking to have 3 Jermaine Franklins this year, but this is the fight to come back after the 2 defeats, set him up for a massive summer,
and mega fights in 2023.
Finally, a couple of names announced for the undercard. I saw on the way in Craig Richards, Bolotniks, which is good. It was supposed to happen on the Dillian White Franklin undercard, right? And Felix Cash is out as well. European middleweight title fight. Good fights to the undercard.
Yeah, and lots more to come. You know, Fabio Wardley looks to defend his British heavyweight title. Chantel Cameron could defend her undisputed championship. But first off the bat, Richards Bolotniks, tremendous light heavyweight fight. Very tough fight for Craig Richards. And Felix Cash going for the coveted middleweight European title before heading for Amo Williams in May or June.
Okay, Eddie, I appreciate it. I know you got a press conference to go to, so thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Eddie Hearn.